Nikolai is coming for you!
Insta-kill!
Hagib nudes, hell pigs! Die! Alright, who wants to try and take me? This should help me protect my vodka. Beats a hammer and sickle every time. I really like these gadgets. A fire sale! I hope they have vodka. This is proper socialist reform. Doctor order. Salute!
Then slide through. Or you could switch it for something like a wing. Yo, what's up YouTube? It's
more things to chase me
around.
around.
Strategy guide on half Kino the Door. So get right into it. Two doors you want to keep close to this strategy. First one, this gate is alleyway. Now this is going to be where you're doing your early round strategy, but for your high round strategy, you're going to want to keep this door closed in the M8 room. So now moving on to the setup. So what you're going to need in order to run this strategy is the Thundergun, the VMP with Deadwire, also have the L-Car with Turns. So now moving on to the setup. So what you're going to need in order to run this strategy is the Thundergun, the VMP with Deadwire, Monkey Bomb, and you can also have the L-Car with Turns, or you could switch it for something like a Weaver with Turns, as this is just a temporary weapon while you're running your early round strategy. So either or works. Or you could switch it for something like a Weaver with Turns, as this is just a temporary weapon while you're running your early round strategy.
Another dark alley. I know this well.
There's going to be two ways in which you can run this early round strategy, and I'm going to be showing you the first on screen now. The first area is going to be the VMP with Kino the Door. So get right into it. There's two doors you want to keep closing these strategies. The first one's this gate in the alleyway. Now this is going to be where you're doing your early round strategy, but for your high round strategy, you're going to want to keep this door closed in the M8 room. So now moving on to the setup. So what you're going to need in order to run this strategy is the Thundergun, the VMP with Deadwire, Monkey Bombs, and you can also have the L-Car with Turns, or you can switch it for something like a Weaver with Turns, and this is just a temporary weapon while you're running your early round strategy. So either or works. There's going to be two ways in which you can run this early round strategy, and I'm going to be showing you the first on screen now. The first area is going to be where you're standing around this double tap boat machine. This is because this is the fastest spot in order to run this area. And at the same time, it's going to be a bit more risky, so you need a lot of T-gun ammo in order to do this. Therefore, I only recommend doing this in the earlier rounds, so like let's say rounds 1 to 64-ish. But if you do start running low on ammo before then, feel free to switch to the other early round strategy I'm about to show you. And also too, let's say you're on like round 70 doing the other strategy, and you have to pop an alchemical. When you've popped your alchemical, just come over here just to speed up the game a little bit more. So as you might have noticed as well, at the start of this round I turned on the fire trap. So make sure whenever that fire trap's ready, even if you have to force your way in there with the T-gun, unless it's like near the end of the round, so you might as well wait until the next round. But make sure to keep turning on that fire trap to help speed this up even more.
It is happy hour!
Feel free to switch to the other early round strategy I'm about to show you. And also too, let's say you're on like round 70 doing the other strategy, and you have to pop an alchemical. When you pop your alchemical, just come over here just to speed up the game a little bit more. So as you might have noticed as well, at the start of this round I turned on the fire trap.
I'll have to kill them
So
with my
make sure
breath.
whenever that fire trap's ready, even if you have to force your way in there with the T-gun, unless it's like near the end of the round or something, you might as well wait until the next round. But make sure to keep turning on that fire trap to help speed this up even more. So now I'm going to show you the other way of how to run the early round strategy. You're going to start running this once ammo becomes a problem on double tap. So all you're pretty much going to be doing is just training in front of this gate with dead wire and turns. Now here, instead of using the thunder gun to actually kill the zombies, I mean maybe you can in like the 70s and 80s, but 90s
So you're dead now, but you were dead before.
To save your life. Therefore, how long you stay here is just entirely dependent upon how good you are at
Let's stay
surviving.
healthy.
So let's say you start relying on your thunder gun a bit too much in the 80s, maybe 90s. Feel free just to open the gate and move on to the high round strategy. But at the same time, if you're managing your ammo well into the 110, 120s, maybe 130s,
Drink to the
feel free to stay
nuclear
here for as
bomb.
long as you can, just save your game time in the long run.
Taste communist aggression, filthy worm train.
Alright, now on to the high round strategy. This is going to take place in the M8 room, and as long as you keep this door leading towards the stage closed, you can actually turn this trap. Let's say you're on like round 70 doing the other strategy, and you have to pop an alchemical. When you pop the alchemical, just come over here.
Come, Suka. I have vodka for you.
So as you might have noticed as well, at the start of this round I turned on the fire trap. So make sure whenever that fire trap's ready, even if you have to force your way in there with the T-gun, unless it's like near the end of the round, so you might as well wait until the next round. But make sure to keep turning on that fire trap to help speed this up.
Why am I so heavy now?
So now moving on to the setup. So what you're going to need in order to run this strategy is the thunder gun, the VMP with dead wire, monkey bombs, and you can also have the L-car with turns, or you can switch it for something like a Weevil with turns, as this is just a temporary weapon while you're running your early round strategy. So either or works. There's going to be two ways in which you can run this early round strategy, and I'm going to be showing you the first on screen now. The first area is going to be where you're standing around this double tap perk machine. This is because this is the fastest spot in
I
order to run
will
this
stab
area.
them in the
At
back
the same time,
like
it's going to
Stalin
be a bit more
did
risky,
me.
so you need a lot of T-gun ammo in order to do this. Therefore, I only recommend doing this in the earlier rounds, so like let's say rounds 1 to 64-ish. But if you do start running low on ammo before then, feel free to switch to the other early round strategy I'm about to show you. And also too, let's say you're on like round 70 doing the other strategy, and you have to pop an alchemical. When you pop your alchemical,
Die,
just
demon
over
hell
here,
pigs!
just to the game a little bit more. So as you might have noticed as well, at the start of this round I turned on the fire trap. So make sure whenever that fire trap's ready, even if you have to force your way in there with the T-gun, unless it's like near the end of the round or something, you might as well wait until the next round. But make sure to keep turning on that fire trap to help speed this up even more. So now I'm going to show you the other way of how to run the early round strategy. You're going to start running this once ammo becomes a problem on double tap. So all you're pretty much going to be doing is just training in front of this gate with dead wire and turns. Now here, instead of using the thunder gun to actually kill the zombies, I mean maybe you can in like the 70s and 80s, but 90s and onwards, you probably want to only use the thunder gun to save your life. Therefore, how long you stay here is just entirely dependent upon how good you are at surviving here. So let's say you start relying on your thunder gun a bit too much in the 80s, maybe 90s, feel free just to open the gate and move on to the high round strategy. But at the same time, if you manage to get ammo well into the 110s, 120s, maybe even 130s, just feel free to stay here for as long as you can, because it's going to save you so much time in the long run. Alright, now on to the high round strategy. This is going to take place in the M8 room, and as long as you keep the door leading towards the stage closed, you can actually turn this trap into an AFK trap, which is really nice. So in the meantime, whilst you're waiting for the trap to recharge, you want to be shooting your dead wire and turns. However, you only want to be shooting it in certain spots that are safe to do so. So for example, once you get around to this one barrier on its own down there, as long as there's no zombies coming out of that barrier, that's going to be a safe spot to shoot turns. And then once you come out from that barrier, as I'm about to do so now, you get to this spot, there's going to be no zombies behind you. You want to shoot dead while you're there. If you need a turn zombie, feel free to shoot turn there as well. You can also shoot turn down at this window too, so either one of them two shooting spots is safe to do so. If you haven't already noticed, every time I get towards the door that leads to the alleyway, I always pull out my thunder gun. This is just because it's the most risky spot in the whole room, so every time you get to that doorway, be sure to have your thunder gun out, just in case it's not a gap for you to go through. Now once the trap's ready, the best way to hit the trap is to hit the M8 side switch, and then slide through to the AFK spot. Now if you hit the other switch that's next to the gumball machine, chances are you're going to bring zombies around to the AFK spot.
Greedy capitalist dogs, give me ammo!
So if you can, just try and hit the M8 trap switch, slide through the trap. You don't have to worry about taking crack damage, as for like 3 seconds after you turn the trap on, it doesn't do any damage. So although the visual effect's there for it to do damage, it won't do damage for a couple seconds. And also, once you're behind the trap, you can either, if you hit the other switch that's next to 3 ways. So now moving on to the setup. So what you're going to need in order to run this strategy is the thunder gun, the BMP with dead wire,
suitable for a
you can
Soviet.
also have the L-car with turns, or you can switch it to like a Weevil with turns, as this is just a temporary weapon while you're running your early round strategy.
Exactly
So
what I need.
either or works. There's going to be 2 ways in which you can run this early round strategy. I'm going to be showing you the first on screen now. So the first area is going to be where you're standing around this double tap curtain machine. This is because this is the fastest spot in order to run this area. And at the same time, it's going to be a bit more risky, so you need a lot of T-gun ammo in order to do this. Therefore, I only recommend doing this in the earlier rounds, so like let's say around 1 or 64. But if you do start running low on ammo before then, feel free to switch to the other early round strategy I'm about to show you. And also too, let's say you're on like round 70 doing the other strategy, and you have to pop an alchemical. When you pop the alchemical, just come over here just to speed up the game a little bit more. So as you might have noticed as well, at the start of this round I turned on the fire trap. So make sure whenever that fire trap's ready, even if you have to force your way in there with the T-gun, unless it's like near the end of the round or something, you might as well wait until the next round. But make sure you turn on that fire trap to help speed this up even more. So now I'm going to show you the other way of how to run the early round strategy. You're going to start running this once ammo becomes a problem at double tap. So all you're pretty much going to be doing is just training in front of this gate with dead wire and turns. Now here, instead of using the thunder gun to actually kill the zombies, I mean maybe you can in like the 70s and 80s, but 90s and onwards, you probably want to only use the thunder gun to save your life. Therefore, how long you stay here is just entirely dependent upon how good you are at surviving here. So let's say you start relying on your thunder gun a bit too much in the 80s, maybe 90s. Feel free just to open the gate and move on to the high round strategy. But at the same time, if you're managing your ammo well into the 110s, 120s, maybe even 130s, just feel free to stay here for as long as you can, because it's going to save you so much time in the long run. Alright, now on to the high round strategy. This is going to take place in the M8 room, and as long as you keep the door leading towards the stage closed, you can actually turn this trap into an AFK trap, which is really nice. So in the meantime, whilst you're waiting for the trap to recharge, you want to be shooting your dead wire and turns. However, you only want to be shooting it in certain spots that are safe to do so. So for example, once you get around to this one barrier on its own down there, as long as there's no zombies coming out of that barrier, that's going to be a safe spot to shoot turns.
Waiting is good.
And then
I
once
can
you
have more
come out
drink.
from that barrier, as I'm about to do so now, get to this spot,
Don't worry,
there's
guys.
no zombies behind you,
Nikolai
so
is
you want to
coming
shoot dead
for
while
you.
you're there. If you need a turn zombie, feel free to shoot turn there as well. You can also shoot turn down at this window too, so either one of them two shooting spots, it's safe to do so. And if you haven't already noticed, every time I get towards the door that leads to the alleyway, I always pull out my thunder gun. And it's just because it's the most risky spot in the whole room, so every time you get in that doorway, be sure to have your thunder gun out, just in case it's not a gap for you to go through. Now, once the trap's ready, the best way to hit the trap is to hit the M8 side switch, then slide through with the AFK spot. Now, if you hit the other switch that's next to the gumball machine, you might have to waste a T-gun shot. So if you can, just try and hit the M8 trap switch, slide through the trap. You don't have to worry about taking trap damage, because for like 3 seconds after you turn the trap on, it doesn't do any damage. So although the visual effects there for it to do damage, it won't do damage for a couple seconds. Also, behind you, you control it down, have a drink, or if you want to speed up the game that much more, use wall bang 4 right where I'm doing now. You're gonna get dead by it. You can actually get quite a few kills. See there, I got 4 kills. You can also try and shoot your turn zombie down there. However, you want to waste a lot of VMP ammo.
If this were Russia, it would be free. Just big line.
While on the subject of VMP ammo, I'm going to show you how to do it. What you're going to need to do is
Vodka
get
for
a full
everybody!
horde. Don't get a full horde, it's basically going to be suicide heading down them stairs. So make sure you have a full horde, and then as you're about to approach the doorway, check to make sure that the stairs are safe. If it is, just run and buy your ammo. You have to get the horde up again, sure you take 2 or 3 cut back, shouldn't take long. And once you've got that, just run straight up the stairs, you can shoot your dead wire and turn to the race, and then get back to the side. If running dead wire and turns a little bit too much for you whilst waiting for the trap to recharge, you should always just run dead wire only and then swap mule kick for double tap. And even if that's a bit too hard for you, you can always just dead wire in 1 spot per lap around the room, opposed to dead wire in 2 spots per lap around the room. So instead of using dead wire at that window there, use it in front of the door that you have closed. I think dead wire in twice per lap really isn't too bad. Another thing that's really nice about running double tap as well is when you're behind the trap, wall banging the floor to get the dead wire to activate on the spawn beneath you. It's actually super easy. All you need to do is like 1 burst of the floor and dead wire will activate. And I think that's everything. I'm probably just going to let the rest of this lap play out until I hit the trap. So that's going to be it from me, so if you will help me out, be sure to leave a like, if you're new, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Running low on ammo! I'm drunk!
This top 5 easiest round of hunting in Black Ops 3 Zombies. Now, I know I've done are getting back on the Black Ops 3 right now in preparation for Cold War. So
Hey,
this is what I'm
Satan's
doing to
minions!
you. You got inspired by me hitting a high round. Okay, I'm gonna hit it round 100. Let's make it easy for
I'm
y'all.
out of ammo! Maybe I should
also
just
go with
drink
guidelines.
instead.
Credibility
This on
is
someone.
from me and from my experience going through these round 100s on Black Ops 3, basically because I've almost done every single round 100 on the game at this point. And of course, we will be including Chronicles, however, they will not be.
Let's play Fetch the
spot on
Grenade,
top
Demon
5
Spawn!
included as honorable. But anyways, let's head down into this number 5 spot. And this number 5 spot, this is actually surprisingly going to be the Giant. Now, the Giant is simple because of the fact that all chemicals, and if you don't know what all chemicals is, it's the last gobblegum to unlock the highest level in Black Ops 6 Zombies. And this essentially gives you 1 apple and points that you earn in the game. It's an incredible gobblegum. For anyone that has played Black Ops 3, you'll know exactly what this is, and it's so easy on the Giant to get to a high round. All you really need to do is you get the Wonderlock, you get 1 gun with Turd, and you get 1 gun with Fireworks, and you can just camp on the catwalk and use all chemicals, cycle the gobblegums every round, and just keep spamming it until you get the high round. Now, of course, Wonderlock is the greatest wonder weapon, so I had to put it at number 5, but it's still quite an easy high round. You don't really even have to force like you can to make it faster. You've got traps all around the map. That can help you as well. You can even go right down to the outage areas or there. But honestly, in my opinion, I know a lot of people speedrun this in the spawn room of the Giant because the spawn room is absolutely insane there. But Other than that, it's not that long of a round 100, and it's pretty easy. But anyways, come down to our number 4 spot. This has got to be your Icy Track before pre-patch is way higher on the list. I mean, when I look at it, that boy was all the way up there. You know what I'm saying? He was high up on the list. I don't understand. Essentially, what happened was that lightning got essentially, and it made it harder to use in those higher rounds. It's still a viable option. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's completely 100% viable, but the only issue is that there are better alternatives now. The Wolf Bow is actually a high round now. Even the Void Bow, I think, or Firebolt, hell no, baby! But the Wolf Bow is always still got the Wonder Stage Strap, the Wonder Stop, the Wonder Theater Zone, that's the jumping thing, the Tesla Coil.
Getting low on ammunition!
Tesla Coil Trap, and it makes it super simple. And it's easily out by KRM. Again, you can use camping shot as much as turn as fireworks, or you can
You see what happens when you touch Nikolai?
That's why it's turn. I know that's a great shot for Shangri-La. But other than that, I think it's still one of the easiest ones, especially if you're running round robin or power vacuums. They're all really good.
I like it rough, but
Coming
not that
out of
rough.
our number 3 spot, this is surprising to me as much as Zetsuko Mishima is our number 3 spot. Now, I know everybody will be like, and that's right, Zetsuko is a buster rider.
Am I always needing more ammo?
When you do the high round strat in Zetsuko,
I got the move or they'll take me down.
and you're just sitting at the boss fight arena where it's just this one tunnel, and you just sit there and spam the KT4 with alchemical with max ammos. It is so easy. All you really need is some good gobble gums. Make sure you're constantly having ammo, and the KT4 is
It's that
fire.
clicking
That
again.
hot.
Oh, ammo.
Plus, you have the Skull on software, which is again one of the best specialist weapons ever introduced. And on top of that, you also have just an incredible area to kill zombies in. The Gobblegum machine is right next to the elevator. It's just planned out beautifully for high rounds. And that is why if you're looking for an easy camping round 100, Zetsuko Mishima is definitely for you. Like the Giant and Horizon Track, you might be having to do a little bit of hoarding, but if you don't know how to hoard, you just want to sit and shoot, Zetsuko's got it covered, baby. So we love you, Zetsuko Mishima. Coming out to our number 2 spot, y'all know I have to put it here. It is Shadows of Evil. The reason why Shadows of Evil will internally be one of the easiest round 100s on the game is because the Apothecary server exists. That gun is so good. Even non-upgraded on Shadows of Evil, even if you do it after the pre-patch of the day 1 patch for Shadows of Evil, it is too easy. You have all chemicals that
better be good.
You can run max ammo, you can run so many different things to help you.
Better
You got the
be good.
Civil Protector from the Hardwood. You can run the Kuda that's also on the Junction Walleye. You just don't open up
Waiting is
Junction.
good. I
Camp
can
at
have
the
more
end where
drink.
the waterfront is, and oh my god.
When did
it's
I
so
run out of ammo?
It's too easy, man. I don't even get why it's so easy. But listen, Shadows of Evil is just that easy. As long as you have the Apothecary server, you got all chemical antithesis, maybe some max ammo in there, maybe some power vacuums, maybe some round robins, and Shadows of Evil is still one of the easiest round 100s to date. You also have Beast Mode, and Beast Mode is his get out of jail free card. It's so easy. We love Shadows of Evil. On to our honorable mentions. Now, these
Hey,
are
where is all the
four
ammo at?
Chronicle maps that I believe are the easiest. They're in no particular order because I believe they're all just quite simple. The 4 maps are Moon, Origins, Ascension, and Kino. And let's go through all of them because most of them are going to be the same. Moon, you just get all chemicals, you need the wave gun, you can watch the trip mines, the spaceman, you just camp in the tunnel 11 track, you shoot down one hallway, and that is it. It is just so easy to get to round 100. You can run even the Rega Mark II if you want. Again, more guns with dead wire, turn,
That smells disgusting.
straight easy. It's so easy.
Like my fourth wife. She pretty.
Because ice sap
Pretty
is
and
so
smelly.
strong.
We
All
have
you
come.
really need is all chemical. You go down to the fire sap area or a Gen 3 area. Go
Why
down
is
to the
no
fire
one
sap
caring
tunnel
about
and
my lack
just
of
sit
ammo?
there, camp with the ice staff. It is so easy. You do 2 shots on the charge shot and you're just done. Ascension, the only thing that's different is, again, you just go to the top of the power strat and you just spam the thunder gun. You can literally do this with no turn. It's insane. You can do this with no power. Ascension is probably one of the easiest round 100s ever, especially on
You know how to say owned in Russian? Owned!
and maybe some max ammo and all chemicals to take those ones are pretty trash. And then obviously Kino is on the list. Traps, you got the
Who ends the road? Let's stay
dead
healthy.
wires, you got turns, you got just Kino, those Chronicles maps, if you're trying to go for around 100, I would suggest the easiest one is probably then Origin, then Moon, then Kino. I don't know, they're all very similar though in terms of the ranking. And the number one easiest map, I'm Black Ops 3 Zombies to get around 100 dollars. Y'all know what this is, it's because it's got everything. It is Revelations. It's got an easy and Easter egg.
When did I run out of ammo?
You go around 100. You got the Apocalypse Servant, which is also incredible. You got the Thunder Gun. You got the upgrade of the Apocalypse Servant. You get so much ammo. There's so many bombs on the but it doesn't matter. You got the Thunder Gun.
They are trying to fetch our
It's
souls
just that
again.
easy. Like, Revelations is truly the starter map if you want to get round 100 or even round 155. It really just is that simple. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are my top 5 maps. Thanks for coming on the video. If you do, like, comment, subscribe, and I will stay on, ladies and gentlemen, till the next time.
Maybe I should just drink instead. Piss on someone. Such power, so smooth. And
Top
this
5 on the
upgraded
second
weapon
channel.
is
Ladies and
nice
gentlemen,
too.
yes, it is. Welcome to the top 5 hardest maps to reach round 100 on solo. If there's any list that has the most backed up price.
Hey, where is all the ammo at?
This would be it because I either tried or failed round 100, and I decided to make this video so you don't know what the actual hardest maps are. Obviously, there's some criteria we gotta go through. First off, we're not including any map that is impossible to
Hachi!
all it all it does, see you later, Buzz Depot, see you later, and also anything that you need an exploit to get to round 100 on. So anything with a fast ray gun, so Nuketown, Town, Farm, see you later. Those maps are out because they take like 130 hours plus to reach round 100 on, and also Black Ops.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Or just on how easy Black Ops 4 is for the entire software table for high rounds. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get down into that number 5 spot, and coming to a surprising number 5 spot, this is Mob of the Dead. Now, Mob of the Dead is surprisingly one map where you can play it and be great. And a lot of people in like Codename Kingdom would say it's too easy. But listen to this, isn't it crazy that Blood Easter egg is incredibly hard, but Mob's Easter egg is very easy. But Blood's high round is incredibly easy, but Mob's high round is incredibly difficult. Now, the way it's actually difficult is not
Like the fist of Stalin! Up your ass!
a lot of stuff that's high round, like for Monkey Bomb effect, you're getting the help.
No touching! I have issues!
Trap and up towards 12 hours of game time to actually round up. This round up is more so about killing than any other round 100, obviously other than town, all the benefits that no round. So that is why it is one of the hardest rounds ever. And it's so surprising because the Blood of the Dead round 100 took me like my first try again just because on Salvo, overpowered standard trap in the industry. It's just way too easy to get around 100 offline. But in Mob of the Dead, all you've really got is the health booster that can kill bosses and the trap. That is it. And nothing else can kill bosses. So it's really obvious.
Capitalism. If you can't beat them,
I know it's a surprising number, but anyways, coming up for the
if I don't find ammo, I will have to kill them with my breath. Why am I so heavy now? I drink to the nuclear bomb.
No wonder weapon onto a gun. It's the hardest. All you really have to your disposal is the trap, and you have to third phase around the map for usable and BO1, however, you can get the running owl, so it was out but
Running low on ammo! I'm drunk!
but Black Ops
Did you guys hear that voice?
so I when I try to will be out because of either. We're not including any map that is impossible to reach round 100 on solo. So coming in at our number 3 spot, a map that is even harder than Baruch is 5. Now 5, the reason why it's harder, coming in with this album and then being Wonderwall. So either version can be very difficult, and obviously for when I try to go round 100 on
Oh, it's the ray gun!
the BO1 version and the World at War version is absolutely no joke.
Now that's what I call a goulash!
Other World at War predecessors. Because at least
They were here! Now they're not! Such is life in the day.
And then you don't even have this
Ha! You cannot even beat a drunk Soviet!
For Rush, I would have to say, it's always still the hardest map.
I made a very big mess!
The map that is even harder than for Rush is 5. Now,
Die now, son of a bitch!
there are trap spots that have a lot of distance from them that you can run through and go to. In 5, all you really
Stay away from my vodka! That is a classic.
Tiny security checkpoint that end up turning into trap after you find the trap on 5 number 1. And then also, you don't have any good wonder weapon. Sure, in a very easy run, you have the Wizard Towel, but in 5 with the Wizard Towel, it's completely useless. The only good thing that you want is the awful
You don't want my soul. It probably tastes like vodka.
Other than that, 5
Vodka?
I would argue the closest of 5 highest rounding is way harder than
I got fur in my mouth.
that it is so high with without that crossbow. And that's why I really believe it is way harder than the round. First of all,
Die, demon spawn! Just what the doctor
So
ordered.
coming down to a number 2 spot, this is actually going to be Shangri-La. Now, Shangri-La, for me, I have had an incredibly difficult time getting around this map. The layout of this map is quite possibly slightly easier than Baruch at 5, but what makes this difficult is the napalm zombies and turbine zombies.
You are dead!
Whatever.
These lights are making me sick.
You get the baby gun in Shangri-La, but the problem is, even though it's the best wonder weapon of all time, if you don't know how to use it correctly, and if you don't know how to navigate through with the napalm zombies and the shooter zombies, it is arguably one of the hardest zombie maps of all time. Solely because of that. I genuinely don't understand how you can organize the hardest map, I would say, on field, even with Gobblegum, it is incredibly difficult to navigate through.
Explosives make things so much easier.
That's one of the hardest maps ever. So ladies and gentlemen, come down to the
They were here,
I feel like I have
now
to
they're
put this
not.
here because, you know,
Such is life in the day. Fuck.
I'm gonna say Baruch though. Obviously, for a high rounder, this is not a hard map, but it is.
Does anyone else hear that, or is it just me?
And the sole reason for that is the wonder weapon is not as good as the Zetsubo, or as the Zetsubo.
Explosives make things so much easier.
And after round 6, but besides that, it's really difficult. You're really going to use the traps and then alternate ammo types for Barrage Code to get the higher round. And I think that's why I love it. It's such an incredibly OG style map put into Black Ops 3, and it's more enjoyable than Shangri-La. It's definitely not harder than any of these that I've mentioned previously, but I believe it definitely deserves its honorable mention, considering I spent a lot of time getting to round 100 on it. But anyways, coming down to our number one spot, I believe this is the hardest zombies map to achieve round 100 on. I don't think there's anything close that can even come to this, and the reason why is because of the wonder weapon. It is goddamn Transit. Now, Transit might be one of the most open space maps ever, but the problem with the round 100 on this is you do not know how to use the jet gun, aka this gun. You're gonna have
Getting
the
low on
worst time
ammunition.
ever. I do not understand how to use the jet gun.
Die, you filthy dogs!
And to this day, I swear, the jet gun that they're using in their video must be the pre-fast version of what I'm using my day. Honestly, the jet gun is a complete...
Why am I so heavy
I
now?
don't understand how people use it. They say it's the best one that's what I'm still using. You pass around 100 with it. I think it's garbage. You can kill like 3 to 4 zombies at a time with it. It's just not that good. I can't stand Transit. Again, also the setup to getting a high round ready takes like 40 minutes because you're just running around the map on round 1 with a bank money trying to get everything done. It's an absolute disaster. I really dislike Transit. And to this day, it is still the hardest round 100. Black up. Solid up. Field working. System. But anyway, Transit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out. It's significant. Subscribe, baby. What is 4 or 5 hardest zombies maps doing around 100?
What's that smell?
Let me know down in the comments.
Maybe I shot
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see. Chrism, back every single.
You know how to say owned in Russian? Owned!
There's no way that
I like it rough, but not that rough.
Top 10 Call of Duty Zombies maps.
there's no way that
Boom! You are dead!
Completely subjective. And the main thing I'm using
no, Chad, this list is fully objective. This is not the correct list. Chat, are we gonna see dissent?
was basically just how much I want to play that map right now. I try to go
Oh,
tell them why.
good criteria. I like it. So it's not necessarily about nostalgia. I like that. I like that. This is good. This is a very good.
I want to play that map right now for this map, but you're gonna disagree with me on at least a few things that I'm doing.
Okay.
With that said, pretend we have
Right click.
but everything done.
Clappers in chat. Right click.
Hurry, come on. Don't worry, guys. Nikolai is coming for you. A weapon suitable for a Soviet.
Anybody disagree with me?
Buried with the last full-size map. Like casual lighting.
Exactly what I need.
Do anything. You don't need to worry about skilling up soul boxes or worry about point optimization.
I literally even think it's great as a number drop down. Like you can make it great.
Fantastic wonder weapon. The paralyzer, which is an incredibly fun, even ammo wonder weapon.
Shot with homeward drop would be a better team if Zombie Sonic released on it and you got all the vintage maps on it. It could literally be like top 3 COD Zombie games if that was the case.
Weapon that you could literally fly with, and the Ray Gun Mark II, which has made a return in countless zombies maps at this point, but was actually first implemented on Barriers. Just know that I have a tendency to prefer more difficult maps, because I think that more difficult maps tend to have more replayability.
That's a great point. I also agree with that. Yeah, replayability, like that. There's a reason I'm playing Fucking Shangri-La. There's a reason I'm still on Orange. You know?
Don't slip in the slime!
Kind of sitting back in the seats can be a really fun zombie experience for time with that. Number 9, we have Dead of the
Noah J is somewhere out there yelling his ass off. But I will have to say that after launch was garbage, in disregard launch, I can understand.
Now, this might be a little controversial of a choice, but I think that Dead of the Night is a fantastically underrated zombie.
I agree.
Here on Dead of the Night.
Chat, is this the most underrated zombie map of all time?
You're dead now, but you were dead before. Ah, fuck you.
I think it's actually underrated, especially because it's like literally the whole idea of
They're splattered all over the place now. Die, demon hell pigs!
I'm not even disagreeing.
First it takes my money, then it disappears. Just like
It's
my
a lot of
fortune.
fun to play because it is so much fun to learn about it.
Alistair's full really good.
I feel like
This is proper socialist reform.
3 separate quests Easter egg or a lot of fun.
I will say if you're a casual player to go
Die, Satan!
if you're a casual player,
Areas of the map outside the mansion add a lot of atmosphere.